Right then, British Junior Pro Kart Championship is about to get underway. Yeah, no waiting around here. My voice not too happy about that, but I'm sure all of you watching at home very happy about that. We want more racing just like that. Right then, let's run you through the grid then for our Junior Pro Kart drivers. Sebastian Thompson will line up on pole position for this one with Ashton Horspool alongside him on the front row. Lorenzo Martin and Rowan Marshall are on row 2 with Harry Pennington and Peter Webster on row 3. Row 4 has Thomas Stevens and Lewis Dean. Then it is Isaac Hobbs and Archie Young on row number 5. They round out the top 10. They're followed by Tyler Goodsir and Joseph East on row number 6. Then Jensen Smith and Finley Iron on row number 7. Mia Duffel and Matthew Plant are on row 8. Surprising there for Matthew Plant, your UK plate driver from round number 1. Of course, Victor in the final at round 1. Starting down there on row 8. It's gone wrong clearly at some point today for Matthew, and he's got a lot of work to do then in the final. Jamie Robotham and Nicole Allardyce are on row number 9. They're followed by Finley Worthy and Emma Falconer, who round out the top 20. Then Callan Falconer and Oliver Dormer round out the 22 drivers on the grid here for your second final of the year in the British Junior Pro Kart Championship. Where we said, Honda Cadets always makes for good racing around here at Shenington because of the Honda engine. They don't have the best acceleration, and that means that the slipstream really comes into effect, and that also means that carrying the speed is absolutely crucial in getting a good result. And you've got to remember, here in the British Pro Karts, we've got the exact same. We've got 2 Honda Cadet engines on the back of the kart. So this should also produce some pretty great racing. Flag falls, and we're racing here in the juniors of the British Pro Kart Championship. We fly down through the first couple of corners then, and Sebastian Thompson leads us through. It should be Horspool, Martin, Marshall, and Pennington going with him. And we're already side by side for second place there out of Cafe Curve. Getting shuffled out wide there. I think was the 78 potentially of Rowan Marshall there, getting ever so slightly shuffled out wide as they all then chuck on the anchors down into Stratford Corner for the first time in this race. Yet again, 10 minutes plus 1 lap on the clock for this one as drivers squabble for position on this first lap. Always a bold one to go for there into the chicane. A very tight section of the circuit. Not easy to go 2 by 2, and you've really got to trust the driver that you're battling with, that they're not going to do something silly, because the slightest bit of contact will be quite a sizable incident. There's a nice move up the inside. That is our UK plated driver, so already Matthew Plant making moves, and that was a double overtake there down at Wilkins Complex from Matthew. What a move from Matthew Plant, and he's already up 6 positions on the first lap. I mean, we were kind of expecting it, given he has the UK plate from round number 1, but still, I won't take anything away from him. 6 positions gained on that one. What a storming start from Matthew Plant. But already, Thompson and Pennington looking to scamper off in this one then. Horspool's actually lost a place. He was second place on the grid in this one. Despite it saying up 2 on the left-hand side of your screen, he is actually down 1 in this one so far. And it's Pennington who's gained quite a few. Pennington is up 3 positions in this one so far, and very much going with Sebastian Thompson. I say going with, battling with there down into the Wilkins Complex. Leaning on the rear bumper of Sebastian Thompson as they press on through to start lap number 3 of this race then. And they've very much broken away. What's the gap now already? 1.7 seconds between Thompson and Horspool. Horspool with a number of drivers right in his wheel tracks. So a good 6 or 7 drivers there in the wheel tracks of Ashton Horspool. 50.8 for himself. All the rest of the following drivers, apart from Matthew Plant, are all in the 51s. 50.3 though for Harry Pennington, and a 50.5 for Sebastian Thompson. So currently still Pennington, your fastest driver out there on circuit at the moment in terms of their first full lap of proceedings. But it does look as though that gap's opened up ever so slightly. They were nose to tail, bumper to bumper through this section of the circuit on the previous lap, but now at least a kart length or so opening up there down the back straight. Pennington using the slipstream to his advantage. Hasn't quite helped enough though across that lap just yet for him to launch an attack, and there you see why. New fastest lap of the race goes the way of Sebastian Thompson now. So a 50.3 now the pace to beat. Ashton Horspool pretty much matching that on the last lap. So Pennington actually slightly slower than the 2 drivers around him on that previous lap. And now all of the top 10 have joined those leaders in the mid-50s second lap times. So now maybe we might see them start to close up a little bit more once again. Oh, we lost something from a kart there. Something flew off there to the right-hand side of your screen. I didn't quite see what that was. But one driver's certainly lost something there from their car. Hopefully nothing too necessary for their car to move forward in a straight line. For the moment, they all look intact and they all continue to press on. As here come more drivers down into the final corner. That being, I believe, the 23. It is indeed a Thomas Stevens there in 7th place. So he's got Matthew Plant for company along with the H plate of Peter Webster. And those three just looking to chase down the rest of those drivers at the sharp end. Has the gap closed at all? No, it's staying pretty similar between these top two and then the chasing drivers. Really, we need to see them start battling, and that's exactly what they're starting to do there down at the Stratford Bend. Defensive manoeuvre made there for Sebastian Thompson, as it was a new fastest lap of the race once more from Harry Pennington. So he just dropped out of the flow of things a little bit on the previous lap, but he's straight back onto pace here on lap number 4. Let's see what he can do as we head through lap 5 now. Pennington hounding the rear bumper here of Sebastian Thompson, but for the moment still not able to find a way through. Well, Horspool has broken away from the chasing pack in behind, and Rowan Marshall and Lorenzo Martin going side by side. Martin has the inside line, and I think he's just about chopped back across there and held on to the place. Lovely battling for 4th position there between Marshall and Martin. Lewis Dean as well involved there also. The 69 indeed of Lorenzo Martin did chop back across. Retook 4th place there as confirmed on your camera shots. As those three battle once more, is that Matthew Plant finally getting his way through? It is indeed. So Plant through into 7th place then, relegates Thomas Stevens now into 8th and back into the clutches of Peter Webster. You saw Matthew pointing forward after making that overtake. He knows that he feels he should be a little bit higher up the order than he is at the moment. Let's work together, drivers. We can catch this next train of 3 if we start putting pedal to the metal. Let's see if they can do it. We hit half race distance here in the British Junior Pro Kart Championship final here at round number 2 of the UK Kart Series at Shenington. And there, indeed, confirmed on the timing that re-switch around from Lorenzo Martin and Rowan Marshall. Again, defending there down into Stratford from Sebastian Thompson. He very much knows that Harry Pennington's still with him, but to be fair, even with that little bit of defending, Horspool is not closing up particularly quickly. I said particularly quickly. Both Thompson and Pennington were still faster than him and the rest of the field on the last lap. They're the first drivers to drop down into the 49s in this race. A 49.945 for Pennington, a 49.955 for Thompson. So 100th in it between their 2 lap times on the previous lap, and I think that shows just why, although Harry is able to pressure Sebastian throughout this lap, he's not quite able to get the overspeed enough to get the move done. Well, there's a good response from Ashton Horspool. He now gets the fastest lap of the race on a 49.8. 8.70 for Horspool, and that gap closes back up to 1.5 seconds. But again, only 3.5 minutes now left in this race. Is it too little too late for Horspool? I mean, the 3rd place is still not too shabby. I think he'll still be pretty happy with that performance, but those top 2 are tantalisingly close for him. Check over the shoulder there for Harry Pennington. He lost that bit of time there down through the chicane and just thought, hold on, where is my closest rival here? Okay, we've still got a few kart lengths here. I think Pennington will start to know that he needs to get this move done sooner rather than later as Horspool continues to close in. Gap stays at around half a second there as all 3 drivers are down in the high 49s. Well, Thompson leads us through then. We are now on to lap number 9 of this race. Wanted to check. Of course, it was Matthew Plant who took the win back at round number 1, hence why he has that UK plate on his car. That bit's all closed up, hasn't it, in that squabble there as they headed down through the Stratford hairpin. But amazing to see battles galore up and down the order. It doesn't matter where you are in terms of the overall order in this race, in terms of your outright pace. You've always got someone to battle with here in the British Pro Kart Championship, whether that be in the juniors or the seniors, which is so good to see. And that's the only way you're going to improve as a racing driver as well, is getting stuck into those battles, learning that racecraft and being able to consistently put down pace without even having to think about it. That's the crucial part of being a racing driver. You need to be metronomic on that pace, and that's when you can free up your mind to start thinking about racing manoeuvres. Well, Sebastian Thompson still very much thinking about racing manoeuvres, particularly those defensive ones as he tries to keep Harry Pennington behind. That gap to Horspool staying, as I say, very similar. So Matthew Plant leads the championship on 167 points going into today. Ashton Horspool second in the standings on 164. So if it stays like this, given the lack of points that Matthew Plant has got from earlier today as well, I think Ashton Horspool will just about steal the lead in the championship in this one. Just to put this into perspective as well, Sebastian Thompson finished the final at Fullbeck in 19th place. Okay, he had issues in the final because earlier on in the day he got a 5th, a 3rd and a 2nd, but this will be Sebastian Thompson's first victory of the season here in the final, if he can hold on, and that is a big if, because Harry Pennington, as we say, has been piling on the pressure throughout this final so far, but just not able to find a way past his rival on circuit. Well, just over 1 minute left to go in this final now. Still a few reshufflings of the order further down. Jensen Smith gets a move done on Mia Duffel on the previous lap. He sneaks his way back into 14th place. As we say, Matthew Plant, he made that move into 7th place a little while ago now, but now he has no slipstream, no drivers ahead of him to assist in pressing towards the leaders. And that's always going to make it a little bit more challenging, particularly around such a sensitive circuit like this. Shenington, really, the assistance of the toe is massively needed. And we can always see, I'm not taking anything away from Pennington, I'm sure he is on leader's pace, but even if he was a few tenths off of Sebastian Thompson's pace, that slipstream will just allow him to close back up on every straight and just keep himself knocking on the door of the race lead. Well, 25 seconds now on the clock. I think this will be close. We might just see the last lap board this time around, and it will be close, like I say, though. Very slidey there through the chicane for Sebastian Thompson, and look at him leading down there, activating human DRS as he presses down the back straight. Of course, DRS no longer in Formula 1, but human DRS still very much a thing here in karting, as you're looking to get as aerodynamically efficient as possible. Timer will tick to 0 just as they go across the line, so this will be on to the final lap, and one less lap then to defend for Sebastian Thompson. Through Cafe Curve they go for the final time. And Sebastian's done a lovely job of this race so far in keeping Pennington behind, and he's only got 1,000 metres to continue to do just that through this one. And he will thus be able to lead a perfect lights to flag victory if he can do just that. Well, after breaking away, Horspool's just been able to get that consistent pace down. He still has the fastest lap of the race. He's still matching the lead, the pace of the leaders, but it's not quite enough to reel them back in after they made that early breakaway. Our top two continue line astern. This is really the last possible opportunity here for Pennington to make a move. He gets the kart stopped, but he can't get alongside. Out of the final corner comes Sebastian Thompson, and he will win in the British Junior Pro Kart Championship here at Shenington. The final goes to number 4 of Sebastian Thompson. Harry Pennington finishes second, with Ashton Horspool in third, and a reshuffle for 7th there on the final lap. Matthew Plant loses out and loses more points. Whoa! Over the inside curb there. That could have been catastrophic there. I think that was Tyler Goodsir there who took to the inside curb. He was lucky he only had a glancing blow with that inside curb because they're not exactly small. Up on 2 wheels he went. Thankfully, he landed back down on all 4 and got to the line. Well, here we go then. There's your provisional results for the British Junior Pro Kart Championship final here at round 2 of the UK Kart Series at Shenington. Sebastian Thompson takes maximum points, followed by Harry Pennington and Ashton Horspool with that fastest lap as well. They were followed by Lorenzo Martin and Lewis Dean in the top 5. Rowan Marshall and Thomas Stevens behind. Matthew Plant, as we say, a round to forget for Matthew here at Shenington. Might have to be one of his drops for the year, methinks. Peter Webster and Joseph East then round out the top 10. Followed by Tyler Goodsir, then Isaac Hobbs, Archie Young, Mia Duffel, Finley Worthy, Jensen Smith, Finley Iron, Nicole Allardyce, Oliver Dormer, Jamie Robotham, Emma Falconer and Callan Falconer rounded out the order. But yet again, another race where we had all of our drivers who started the race make it to the checkered flag, which is always what we want to see.